What are the signs that you're ugly? A little kid will tell you. They are honest and blunt and don't even know it. That's so true. When my nephew was about 5, he told a man at the beach that he had a big, fat belly just like Santa Claus. At her 90th birthday party, my 4-year-old nephew told his great-grandma, "Happy birthday, you're gonna die soon." I work aftercare for grades K2. The other day a kindergarten girl said to me, "Do people tell you you're fat?" I'm not trying to be mean. I was dropping my daughter off at daycare a couple years ago, when her classmate peered up at me and said, "Why are you so wide?" He had that 4-year-old genuine curiosity tone, so I did what I had to do. "I don't know. Why are you so small?" Thoughtful pause. "Well, I'm not done growing yet. Maybe I just grew too much, huh?" "Yeah, probably. Bye." I once had a group therapy session where we stood in a circle and had to say something we liked about the appearance of one another. I don't remember what the point of that was. It was too long ago, sorry. Anyway, everyone received their compliments, beautiful hair, great smile, etc., until it was my turn to get complimented. They all went silent for a good while until one of them said something along the lines of, "You're kinda funny sometimes." After that, the therapist just told them to skip to the next person while giving me a sympathetic look. That shit still haunts me. That sounds like the opposite of therapy. More of a trauma session, really. It's always a letdown when people say you look like a celebrity. Stephen Hawking is my most frequent match. If you make a self-deprecating joke about your looks and everyone gets really uncomfortable instead of laughing or complimenting you. Those kind of jokes don't really work for anyone else either. They're not that funny. Just comes off as either depressing or annoying. When your mom is the only person who finds you handsome or pretty. Edit mom and grandma. You're a young teenager in the car with your mom. Stupid talkback segment comes on the radio. How unattractive people more likely to find true love because anyone willing to be with them must be uninterested in superficial things like looks and lust. Bonus points if they're unattractive too because they won't cheat because nobody would want to do it with them. Your mom tells you how happy you should be at this news. "I wish I could find a guy like you, you're so sweet." Girls, even if a guy isn't into you, this is still the most brutal thing you can say. People are scared of you when you approach them. He's just standing there menacingly. When my beautiful friend and I would go out to clubs, if 2 guys approached us, the one stuck with me made it pretty obvious that I was the lesser one. The one who got my friend looked a lot happier. Yeah, I was in that same spot too when I was a teenager. Shit was rough. Now as an adult I don't have friends anyway, so it doesn't matter anymore. Invisibility. It's not really a superpower. More like a reminder that nobody wants to see you. There's a book by Chuck Palahniuk, the author of Fight Club. It's called Invisible Monsters, and it's the story of a supermodel who loses their looks and now they've become invisible. People avoid eye contact, look away, brush past, when they used to be the center of attention. It's a really interesting story about how society ties beauty to value. You have the face for radio, and a voice for newspaper, and the writing skills for reality TV. When your high school crush reveals that she faked her crush on you just for the shits and giggles in front of everyone else. Source: me. I would say they are the objectively ugly one here. What a truly repulsive thing to do. No Tinder matches. All of my Tinder matches use Tinder to advertise their Instagram. Swipe right on every guy and ignore messages. I get that on Bumble. I send the first message because, I have to, and a good half of my matches let it expire. I even try to send something to start an actual conversation, not just a hey, because that's annoying. I might be ugly. Worked in the same office as a guy for 3 years, considered him a friend even though he was a bit shallow concerning looks, and talked about other hot girls meeting other girls even though he had a fiancée. 2 weeks after he left the company, he dropped off wedding invitations for everyone in the company, even people he had no direct contact with. Except for me, fat and ugly girl. Everyone thought he must have accidentally forgotten about me, but I knew it was because he didn't want me to show up in the wedding photos. Everyone in the company went to the wedding and talked about it for weeks after. They would go silent and change the subject when they asked me what I thought about the wedding, and I told them I hadn't been invited, so yeah, they hadn't realized I hadn't been there. When you're ugly, you are invisible and easily forgotten about, even when no longer fat. You'd get used to this treatment over the years, but it still hurts. He wasn't a friend. He was a friendly work acquaintance. The good old I like you enough to acknowledge and interact at work, but not enough to do it outside of work. Yup, had plenty of those, and to be honest, nothing wrong with it. Just gotta recognize it before you get hurt because you took it for a friendship instead of a way of making work more bearable. Gotta recognize it. This is huge. I worked with the older gay man for a long time, and he took pride in being able to read people and predict behavior. We were super friendly and always talked for hours on end at work, but when I called him a friend, he stopped me. Look, I like talking to you, but I know you're the kind of person that doesn't put effort into friendships, and I would have to engage you constantly to build a relationship. We are not friends. We are acquaintances. I was offended for a moment, but then I thought about it for a long time. It was the wisest and most profound thing I've ever been told by a pizza delivery man. I've never had more respect for someone after telling me they weren't my friend, until that day. You go through the self-checkout at Target and see yourself on the video screen. Your best friend takes you to the roof of your building and makes you admit it at the top of your lungs. I am ugly and I am proud. Nobody ever jokes about how ugly you are. I'm a girl, and I dressed up as Marilyn Monroe for Halloween one year in college. Went to a party. Throughout the night, 3 different guys accused me of being a man in drag. Feels bad, man. As an ugly dude, I never get compliments, don't get anyone looking at me, no one approaches me. If I try talking to a girl, she will try to ignore me. One time I was walking to my desk to get something and a girl was by it talking to one of her friends. She looked at me and said EW with a face of disgust and looked away from me. That killed me a little on the inside. I'd rather be ugly than be that much of a piece of shit. My dog would rather play catch by itself. My dog licks my face and then licks his bollocks to get rid of the taste. At work, you don't receive the same assistance others get. About 10 years ago, I did a little study sort of thing on my co-workers. I went from wearing very little makeup and plain hair to full makeup and styled hair. I was expecting the men to help more and be nicer, and they were. But the surprising thing to me was that the women also helped more and were nicer. Don't ever let anyone tell you appearance doesn't matter. People only flirt with you when they're drunk and the party is almost over. People don't even flirt with you when they're drunk and the party is almost over. Girls never want to talk to me, ever. I believe you. When people tell you, beauty is on the inside. Been on Tinder 2 months now and no matches. I'm thinking that's a sign. Sometimes it's just what comes out of your mouth. That you have no alibi. Alzheimer's dementia care patients will be honest with you. Volunteer or work in a memory care center for a while. You'll find out where you are in the looks department. You're just trying to trick me into volunteering. I'm ugly and I'm proud. I'm ugly and I'm proud. Is that what he calls it? You're single and have been for a while. No one of the opposite sex makes moves on you, approaches you, smiles, winks at you, holds a look if you look at them. People don't notice you or weird people kind of stare at you. To be fair, some of the weird people are just crazy. LOL, this is me. Close friends and family tell me I'm pretty, but facts are facts, man. Honestly, I'm not even sure if I'm ugly anymore, or if it's just self-hate. This is the real answer for most people. I don't think I've ever been told I was attractive. Even the one girl that pity dated me freshman year couldn't muster anything up. If it's dark, or you're out alone, people are scared of you. Walking alone, I've made it a really big focus to appear non-confrontational due to my looks. Fringe benefit, you're unlikely to get mugged. That doesn't mean you're ugly. Intimidating maybe, but not ugly. Story time. My office mates and I went to the pub, a Spoons as it happens, at the end of the last working day before Christmas. The pub was packed to the rafters and we scored a large table by the subtle skill PF, finishing work before midday. Late into the afternoon, we were joined by a lady who was not just beaten by the ugly stick, she was whittled from it, like Eve from Adam's rib. She approached most of the guys using, "Can you help me get this new phone working?" as an opening line. While the chap she'd marked was mucking with the phone, she'd try small talk and poor flirting. After she'd been about halfway down the table, getting no luck, The bar staff came and told me they could throw her out if she was bothering us. So I guess if you get thrown out of a pub just for politely trying to pull, you might be ugly. Everybody needs dick once in a while. She was putting herself out there. I commend her. When you're a girl and nobody says is beautiful besides mom. When you're a thin woman who works out, but no men talk to you, even if you're alone in the bar with more men than women. When you don't believe harassment is a problem that happens to women because you secretly want it to happen to you because it'd actually mean you're not ugly to somebody. When you realize all the makeup in the world doesn't help. When you've accepted looks aren't your strong point and make it a point to focus on being a good person with character. Because if you're ugly, you have to be more. When you realize that your friends like hanging out with you because you make them look better by comparison. When your husband spends a lot of time talking about female coworkers. When your female friends don't think twice about you being around their spouse's significant others. I think you should get a different husband. You talk to someone online for a while and then when you finally show your face, you get ghosted. What are the signs that you're ugly? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.